Hi, my name's Norman and I'm here to help you get a better grade for your assessed writing. In this video I'm going to look at the idea of information flow at the sentence level. Now, if you've done your homework from the last video, I hope you've discovered some useful things about information in the sentence, particularly what comes at the beginning of a sentence, what comes at the end of a sentence. Now, let's have a look at the start of sentences. The initial position, the beginning position. What do we normally expect to find there? What does the reader expect at the start? Well, I hope you've noticed that the subject or the topic of the sentence comes first. Now, the topic or the subject, this kind of information will usually be known. It will probably be shared. It will probably be given information. If it hasn't been given previously in the text, then you can easily anticipate what it would be. So there are no new surprises at the beginning of a sentence. The information is what we could call old information. It's given information, it's shared information, it's anticipated information. So this is what we expect to find at the start of a sentence. Now, what happens is that students, when they write, they move the subject away from the start of the sentence. They put huge, long phrases to modify the subject. The reader doesn't expect this. The reader is waiting for the subject or the topic. For example, let me give you a frame sentence that I read all the time. It starts like this: nowadays, with the rapid development of, then we insert a noun, rapid development of technology, together with the increasing pace of globalization. There, we've got 19 words before we even hit the subject. So the reader is getting lost by this stage. If you need to modify the subject or the topic, keep it fairly short. The initial position, the start of the sentence, this is the place for the topic, this is the place for the subject. And this information is not new. It's given, it's old, it's known. Then the verb comes. Now, the same thing happens with the subject and the verb. Students often separate the verb from the subject with long, complicated clauses, subordinate clauses, defining clauses. The further the verb is from the subject, the more difficult the sentence is to read. So I would advise you, keep the subject and the verb close together. Now, after the verb, what kind of information did you find at the end of the sentence? Well, I hope you discovered the end of the sentence. This is where the meat of the sentence lies. Now, if you're a vegetarian, let's call it the nutrition of the sentence is at the end. This is where the new information is. This is where the comment is. This is where the unexpected information is. So the weight of a sentence, the focus of a sentence is at the end. So the information flow within the sentence, it starts with given, old information, and then moves to new information. The direction is from old to new, from given to new, from anticipated to new. You cannot anticipate what's going to happen at the end, usually. Now you need to follow this pattern. If you follow this pattern, your writing will be so much easier to follow. Then, what happens at the beginning of the next sentence? How do you connect the two sentences together and follow with a good flow? Let's imagine the sentence is like a jigsaw. You start with the known, given, old information here. You move to the new information at the end of the sentence. That new information then slots in like a jigsaw into the next sentence, and you've got a perfect fit, perfect coherence. So how does the new information at the end of this sentence become the old information at the start of this sentence? Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's take a sentence. The excessive consumption of refined sugar leads to tooth decay, heart problems, diabetes. Now, the end of that sentence gives 3 pieces of new information about sugar consumption: tooth decay, heart problems, diabetes. So how will that link to the next sentence using the old new? Well, once you've got to the end of the sentence, that new information in your head becomes known information. It becomes old information. So you want to start the next sentence linking back to that. So you can use a pronoun or a collective noun. We've got tooth decay, heart disease, diabetes. What collective noun can we use for these? Their problems, their ailments, their issues. So we could say these ailments may lead to further health complications. So this means that the new information in the previous sentence then bridges over and becomes the given information, the old information, in the next sentence. So we have a chain effect. Old, new. The new then becomes old, then new. And so we get a coherent flow through the paragraph. Now, this is just one type of pattern. There are other patterns of connection, but if you don't know this one, look for it when you read. Notice where the old information comes first, followed by the new, and then that new information starts the next sentence. Look for this chain. Then, after you've noticed it in your own reading, try and put it into your own paragraphs. So to sum up, information flow at the sentence level goes from given or old or known information and then moves to the end of the sentence where the new information is given. Remember, old to new. If you can master this, your writing will improve. Now, for the next video, I'm going to go back a bit and look at evidence. What is strong evidence? What is weak evidence? Till then, have fun. Bye-bye.